Guys, we got some breaking news from here in China. The first battery swappable car, partner car, that partnered in with the NIO Battery Swap Alliance is finally coming. All right, we have some details on that. And then, of course, we also have President Xi Jinping, the supreme leader of China, visiting Anhui, checking out NIO, checking out some of the different cultural and technological aspects of the province. And of course, NIO's CEO was also there present, showcasing NIO's fantastic technology to the president. So, of course, giving the president more awareness about NIO and how important NIO is to the entire country. So first, let's talk about the battery swappable car. So this first car, we got the official images. So these are registered images with the Chinese government. So this is what the car will look like when it's being sold. And the car is from Changan Motors. All right, Changan Motor, they signed the Swap Alliance partnership last year. And this car will be a battery swappable sedan. Okay, and the name is called 520. Yeah, it's just called 520. Interesting. Right, probably to indicate the range, 520 kilometers of range, most likely. And it's just a normal looking sedan that can do battery swap. So this is going to be very interesting. However, it will be very interesting to know how NIO owners feel about battery swap stations. Now they have to line up with on-road cars and also with these battery swap alliance cars. In my personal opinion, as a NIO owner myself, I feel like it's kind of underwhelming, right? It kind of dilutes the NIO ownership experience. It's supposed to be prestigious and luxurious, but then when you have to line up with these, probably, in my opinion, I think these cars will be much cheaper. These cheaper cars, and try to get battery swaps, fight with them, that could become a little bit of a headache. But thinking about it the other way, all right, being a bit more optimistic, of course, they can't use the Gen 2 and Gen 1 swap stations. So there's still going to be a lot of swap stations that you won't have to encounter any sort of this kind of lineup or fight for battery situation with those other brands. So, in my personal opinion, I'm fine with it, okay? And then if you have to line up a little bit, so be it. It's probably still going to be faster than charging. So, and of course, NIO is going to solve the problem by having an ocean of swap stations out there. And we talked about this in one of my previous videos. So it's not going to be a big problem. The more cars there are, the more swap stations there will be. So overall, it's going to be a net positive. All right, more swap stations. That's good. Okay, the next piece of news, of course, Xi Jinping visiting Anhui province, checking out NIO, checking out the technology that NIO has. The big highlight is, of course, showcasing the SkyOS, all right, NIO's own self-developed operating system, and of course, NIO's own self-developed chip, all right, the NX0931, if I recall correctly. And both these things, in my personal opinion, they're worth trillions of dollars, all right, because NIO's AI chip is currently 4 times more powerful than NVIDIA's Orin X chip. One chip equals 4 NVIDIA Orin X chips. And of course, NIO's own SkyOS being sort of like, imagine if someone developed Android, right? How big of an impact is that going to have? Of course, so this is basically NIO's own Android operating system, but for cars. It's self-developed. They coded everything from the ground up. So this is just going to be super, super precious going down in the future, and especially when it comes to being able to accept newer tech. This operating system is built for AI. So when you have all these AI features and everything like that, this is going to offer you better latency, which is very apparent on the Envoy L60. I've showcased on the car where you can adjust the seat positions and there's basically zero lag. Right? On the screen, there's zero lag. Right? It's very fast, blazing fast, and everything's connected. and you're able to use less electricity, less data loss. So there's a slew of benefits, and it's just better than Android or Linux. So if you guys didn't know, current NIOs are based off of Android operating system, and then Teslas are based off of Linux. So of course, you're still based off of something else, right? But here, SkyOS is its own separate individual system, and NIO is, of course, open to licensing this out to other people as well. So that's also going to be a huge potential revenue generator for them. But of course, overall, it seems, Xi Jinping is very impressed. I'm sure when they saw the video clip of the ET9 going over the speed bumps with zero movement and the champagne glass on top, like, holy crap, that's pretty damn amazing, right? And William Li was there clapping his hands, of course, cheering Xi Jinping on. There's not much else you can do. You can't do anything else if you don't want to get in trouble. So yeah, of course, great awareness for NIO as well. And in terms of the revenue aspect going forward, all right, I'm seeing NIO stock bounce a little bit today as the market opens. This is pretty nice. Finally, we might be capping off the pullback. But in terms of revenue generation in the future, if you look at these partnership swap cars, all right, like this Changan 520, this, at the point of sale, it uses an Envo battery pack. So this is very interesting. It uses an Envo battery pack. That means when they build this car, they have to pay NIO a little bit of money to, first of all, buy that battery and also use NIO's technology, right? They have to use NIO's sort of skateboard mechanism. And of course, using NIO's patents also involves they got to pay some money to NIO. And in the end of the day, this just means that if people buy a lot of this car, NIO is going to end up earning a lot of money as well. Okay? And then, of course, they have to swap at a NIO battery swap station, and NIO's charging the money for that, of course. So this is more future potential revenue from battery swaps going down the line. And for sure, these guys will not get any sort of free battery swap or free swap voucher or anything like that. Definitely ain't going to happen. So these guys will have to pay for battery swaps. The advantage that they're getting is, of course, they get access to NIO's 2,000 plus swap station network. And of course, you can still charge, but of course, you have to pay a little bit of money to NIO. And this is very, very good long term in terms of what NIO is going to be expecting to get in terms of revenue. In the future, you might see a situation where every single car sold has NIO's battery swap tech, and every single car sold has to pay a little bit of money to NIO for using that tech. And that's just going to be tremendous. All right, that's going to be tremendous. And of course, with battery, starting in March, with battery checkup being mandatory, then you can also expect battery swap to gain much more recognition for the preservation of the battery health and lack of battery degradation. All those problems are solved with battery swap. So more people will be aware of this down the line. So this is definitely very good. A big first step for battery swap adoption with these partners. All right. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.